So the other day I put out this video called How Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory Mistake Helped Me Redesign My Online Business. And in this video, I talk about this post from Tom Bilyeu, who created Quest Bars. But in particular, he's talking about this concept of building in straight lines. And it's a fundamental concept, but sometimes when we're really close to our business, we can miss these fundamentals. And so this really helped me over the last 6 months to re-engineer the group of businesses that I run, and then in particular, the business that you see me show up in, which is called Caris Digital, which is where I help people implement my lifestyle business operating system. And so I did this video yesterday, but I've been talking about this concept a bit more in my emails and a little bit in content in different places, and it's really been resonating with people. I actually just did 2 client onboarding reviews this morning as part of the Lifestyle Business Academy. People fill out a comprehensive process, and then I film them a custom onboarding plan to help them implement the operating system in the most streamlined way based on their situation, their business, and their goals. And I had 2 of these people mention this concept of building in a straight line and how it really provided them with a lot of clarity. And so what I wanted to do in this video is just take that one step further and hopefully provide a little bit more clarity around this topic. Okay, so quick refresher for those of you that maybe didn't see the video, or just to provide a bit of context before we dive in. So this idea about building in straight lines is simply that you've got hyper congruency across every touch point, across every element of your ecosystem, your funnel, whatever you ultimately want to call it, all ultimately leading towards the main offer that you're ultimately selling people. Okay. So, the same message from the exact top of the funnel in your content, in your paid ads, to the core touch points in your middle of funnel where you nurture people, your YouTube videos, your email, your remarketing ads, all the way through to your core offering. And then obviously the delivery should mirror what you've sold in the core offering, and it ultimately becomes this closed loop where every time this kind of runs and someone finds you from an ad, opts into a funnel, joins your email list, buys this thing, and then becomes a client and implements, you gather more data, and then we feed this back into the top. We use it to tweak our funnels, we use it to improve our middle of funnel, we use it to improve the offer, we use it to improve the delivery experience, and the machine gets more and more efficient and compounds with each time that it runs, okay? And so this concept of building in a straight line is really about making sure that you've got extreme congruency and consistency in the message across all of these layers, and that they tie into that core offer with absolute precision, okay? I've got an example for you, but what I wanted to put on the table today is, if you are in the process of creating a new offer or trying to simplify your business, if things have got a little bit messy, I wanted to give you 4 questions that you really need to answer in order to be able to clearly execute on this idea of building in a straight line. If you can't answer these, it's going to be very, very challenging, okay? And I want to give you the questions, and then I want to walk you through an example just from my own business, because I always like to bring this back to a real life example from what I'm doing so that you can see the practical implementation of it in real time, okay? So these are the 4, and they're pretty simple, but it's sometimes the simplest stuff that's the most powerful. Okay, so the first one is, who do you help? So this is the category of person. Now, how broad or how narrow you go is going to depend. I literally just did an onboarding for a guy who runs a painting business that does about $3 million a year. He's got a software for tradespeople that does 30 or 40 grand a month, and he's in the process of launching a coaching offer for people with painting businesses, right? And so the who in that context is people with a painting business, and in particular, people with a painting business doing between 500,000 and 2 million per year. He's not necessarily going after helping them grow, but he's going after helping them with systems, automation, get back more time, simplify, recover from burnout, etc., because he runs that $3 million a year revenue business in 1 day per week. And so we're helping him install the operating system into his new coaching business for this painting business offer. Hopefully that makes sense. And so in his situation, that who you help is painters making between 500,000 and 2 million per year, right? In my business, it's creators, consultants, digital experts, coaches, digital product creators, mentors. You could put thought leaders. You could put authors. It's people who have got intellectual property and skills and experience and knowledge that they've accumulated through their own life or through working with clients or a combination of both that ultimately want to install this model. Okay, so this is really the who. All right. So that's the first thing you got to answer. That's pretty simple. The next one is, what are they struggling with? Okay. What is it that they are experiencing day to day, like in their real life, that is causing them stress, anxiety, pain, frustration? Okay. And the more kind of visceral and real and clear that this is, the more potent your offer is going to be. You don't need a ton of different symptoms and problems. You can have one absolute banger and it will be fine. You can also layer them. If you layer them and your solution is more robust such that it solves multiple problems, it's going to be a more valuable offer and it's going to have more longevity. Okay, just as a side point, right? And so I've kind of addressed this across both of these buckets here, but for my people, right, this is people who are sick of being on and chasing sales calls, an overcomplicated business, too many different funnels, right? They're often, they're good at what they do. They've just got the wrong model and it's inefficient and it doesn't align to creating freedom, a lifestyle that they actually enjoy. Okay. It's people who want more leverage and a machine that runs that actually works. Okay. They're experiencing, feast or famine in the revenue. They don't have that reliable system for bringing in clients. It's scattered. It's messy. It's volatile. It's all over the place. They're overwhelmed, stuck on calls, spinning too many different plates, constantly posting on social media, hoping people reach out. They don't have leverage, right? Everything is built off the back of manual effort. They don't have those systems in place. They're confused. There's too many different tactics, too many different strategies, and they don't have a clear operating system that generates new attention, nurtures attention, converts attention. Because that's fundamentally all that it needs to do. And then ideally, you've got a system in place to streamline delivery. Okay, so this is the who, and then this is a blend of the stuff that they're currently struggling with and are frustrated with. And fundamentally, they want a model that gives them freedom. Okay, so that's in my business. So that's the second one you've got to answer is, it's just simply like, what are they going through right now? The person that you can help, or the person that you want to help, or the person that you do help, what are they going through right now? And get really kind of intimately connected with that. All right. The second one, or the third one rather, is for that person that is experiencing that challenge or that set of challenges, what is your game plan to help them move away from that place, to help them move away from that place of pain, to help them solve those problems, to help them alleviate those symptoms that they're experiencing? And I would recommend that you boil it down to 3 points. Even if it ultimately has more kind of micro steps, roll it up and simplify it into 3 points, because it's going to be easier for you to explain and easier for them to digest. Okay? And so for me, this is my operating system that you hear me bang on and on and on and on and on and on and on about. When you have a clear plan for people, you can layer it into all of your marketing. You can layer it into your ads, you can layer it into your resources, you can layer part or all of it into your low ticket offers, into your upsells, into your emails, into your YouTube videos, into your remarketing ads. And then ultimately your main offer is simply helping people through that plan. This is a huge missing piece for people. They think it's just like some marketing gimmick that they come up with, a name for their system, a name for their strategy. No. This is fundamental. If you want to build in a straight line, you need a core methodology that drives your main offer. That's what you do with people in your main offer. And then you layer it into everything. Everything before it is built around this core offering. Okay. And so for me, This is 3 steps. Is the cash flow engine, is the main offer that can be sold with the doc and no sales calls, right? It's a passive funnel, passive buyer flow, passive lead flow, one main funnel that generates buyers, increases customer value with upsells, and then we can layer different skins on top of it. I'll drop some other videos below if you're kind of new to this and you want to go deeper on these pieces, because I've done videos on them. But it's essentially a master passive funnel that collects leads and converts people into buyers around the clock, gets them into our email list, and then automations kick in from there. And then it's traffic. It's traffic to ultimately fill up this funnel and move people towards this main offer. And if we implement that 3-piece system and then refine it and, bring on people to help us run it, assistants, use automations, keep things lean, we ultimately help this person solve these problems and set of challenges. Okay? So that's the third question, is what is your game plan? If you start with somebody, what are you going to build together? What are you going to execute on together? What are you going to do together? And boil it down to 3 steps. It's nice and simple. Okay? And then the fourth one is, on the other side of using that game plan, what does life look like? Okay? And so in my case, you've got a lean, profitable business that makes sales daily without calls, both getting clients and customers. 4 and 5 figure clients coming in through a simple machine, through the flagship offer. More freedom, more margin, more focus, working a few hours a day instead of being chained to your desk. You can run a lot of it from your phone. You've got systems that are running, and you become almost a systems architect as opposed to being in the weeds in the business. And if you've built any of these businesses or tried to, you'll know what I mean by that. And you can scale more quietly while living life on your terms, because once you've got the infrastructure in place, it's really a matter of sitting back and looking at what the system is telling you, right? How many new leads did you generate? What percentage of your leads reached out for your offer doc? What percentage of leads got your offer doc? What percentage of people purchased it? What percentage of people upgraded? What is your ad spend? What is your cash flow? What's your MRR looking like? All these things. We look at these key indicators, and then we just scale it based on numbers, right? We're using the highest forms of leverage in terms of automations, ads, funnels, code, media, as opposed to a lot of people, like a lot of models out there are teaching, but like hiring setters, hiring closers, hiring reps to be slamming, cold DMs all day. Like it's fucking madness. So it's using actual leverage, not just like hypothetical leverage by hiring a bunch of people. And so that's what life looks like on the other side, right? And so while these seem like 4 very, very simple and innocent questions, a lot of people can't answer them, and that's why their business is a mess, and that's why they can't build in a straight line. If you want to simplify, you need to be able to precisely answer these 4 questions, and you build your entire ecosystem around the answers to these questions. Ultimately, your main offer is to help that person who is struggling with that set of problems work through that game plan so that life can look like that 4th question on the other side. Okay. And then you can layer all of that into every single element of your marketing, your middle of funnel, your top of funnel, your low ticket, your free resources, your content, your paid ads. It all is congruent. And it's a very simple straight line for people to move through. Hey, I'm that person with that problem. Then they come in. Hey, this game plan sounds interesting to me. Let me learn more about it. I'm going to read some emails. I'm going to watch some videos. I'm getting chased by this person around the internet. I hang out here for a few days, a few weeks, a few months until I fully understand. One day they see a piece of content, they see an email, a video, a remarketing ad, it clicks. Let me check out that offer. Hey, they're going to help me implement this thing that I've just spent the last few days, weeks, months learning about. It's a no-brainer. Let's just do it. And then your delivery is very simple, productized, streamlined, because it's just implementing one clear game plan. All right. So 4 questions you must answer if you want to build a straight line marketing machine. Hopefully that is helpful. If you would like to do this with me personally, check out the Academy. It's linked below, and we'll give you all the tools and templates and funnels and scripts and all the shit to make this way more seamless. Okay. Details are below. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.